Okay, this is a continuation of our last session when we were talking about building a list building conversion funnel. Today I'm going to walk you through Google Analytics and show you some of the main features and how this can be a very powerful tool in evaluating your list performance. But first of all, I want to start by going to Aweber. So we're going to go there right now. So in our last lesson, we were talking about email metrics, so important ones such as tracking open rates and tracking click-through rates, really important. So if we go to broadcast here, and this is just a test account we don't have any live campaigns going on in this particular account. But if we were to look at the results, and this is showing a pending broadcast, but if we were showing a broadcast that was already sent, we would see the click-through rates. So we'd be able to track what the click-through rate percentage was. We'd also be able to track the open rates, what the open rate percentage was. So this data would be right there so we could track the performance from the different broadcasts that we're sending. Now, when you're sending out a broadcast, it's important that you keep your click tracking on. Otherwise, you won't be able to track the click-through rate percentages for your different broadcasts. So when you send a broadcast, all that data will be there for you so that you can do the evaluation on your email metrics. Now, the other thing I want to show you, now when you're setting up your conversion funnel, Aweber and Google Analytics work really well together. And so I'm going to go to list settings, and we talked about this a couple lessons ago, but going over to the confirmed opt-in, which is kind of the third stage of setting up your list, scrolling down, we've already done this. Now this success page becomes very important from a conversion standpoint, because what we're going to do in a moment is we're going to grab this URL and we're going to put it into a feature within Google Analytics called goals. So essentially Google Analytics allows you to set up specific goals in order to track certain campaigns. And it's important that you have the confirmation email where people are going to end up after they opt in, so that you can track your conversion rates. And we'll come back to this in a moment. I just wanted to show you that as it's a really important part of the whole conversion process. All right, well, with that being said, I want to move on to Google Analytics. And Google Analytics continues to add new features. And if you look at it, if you've not been there before, you haven't used it a lot, it can be a little overwhelming. So I'm going to show you some of the top features. There's so much we could go into, and Google Analytics can be a course in itself, but I'm going to show you some of the best features. So here we are at a home page for a sample account. This is a small account that doesn't have a lot of traffic, but it will still serve as a good example for us. So this is the main dashboard. It has some results on our daily visits, the average time people are spending on our actual website, total goal conversion rate. We'll show you this. We'll talk about this here in a moment. And then it gives a rundown on the different types of traffic, organic being your search engine traffic, referral maybe coming from someone else's link or another person's site, and then people that are finding your site directly. So your demographics, where your traffic is coming from. So let's break this down a little deeper. So I'm going to go to the standard report here, and we're going to first of all look at our audience. So this tracks our visitors, our unique visitors that are coming in day by day. We go down here, it'll track the number of visits for a given month. And so we could change up these dates and customize it in any way that we want. We could look at a whole year. We could look at a particular day, a week. We could even compare to the past. So I can click on this and it'll compare, let's say, what we did in February of this year versus February of last year. Okay, so all sorts of good data that you can access there. So going down, so we've got our unique visitors, the number of page views, the number of pages per visit when people arrived at this particular blog site, the average time that people are spending on the site, the bounce rate, which means those that are leaving from the page that they arrived at, and the percentage of new visitors. Okay, so the percentage of new visitors for this one is high because this is not an active blog right now, so we're not adding new content to this one. So obviously the returning visitors would be relatively low. All right, so then we can look at the demographics. And again, this is by location. It could be by language. Give you an idea of where in the world people are coming to your website from. So that's demographics, all sorts of data in there. And then the third one is called behavior. And behaviors is that new versus returning. How many returning visitors do we have? How many are new? So frequency and recency is once they arrive at our site, how many pages are they visiting? Are they hanging out for a while? And then the engagement one is how long are they spending on the site? to give you an idea of how, their level of engagement with your particular blog or website or squeeze page. All right, so that's their overall behavior that we can track. Technology is basically just the browser that they're using. This might give you some interesting data. And there's some other menu items here I'm not going to go through because I want to really cover the high points today. And I'm going to scroll down to traffic sources. Really, really important one. And this is basically evaluating where your traffic's coming from. From your different channels or your different affiliates or the different search engines that you're optimized for. So we can look at all traffic here. And this brings up, for this particular blog, the traffic is coming from Google Organic, which is natural traffic. And it shows Facebook and some other traffic sources as well. So this gives you a good overview of your traffic sources and even your top traffic sources that are leading to your website or squeeze page. And then from there, we can go down to content. And this is where we can actually look at our top pages. So if you're looking at your blog, your website as a whole, you could track, for blogs, you can track what were the most popular blog posts, which ones had the most page views. And this is actually good data when you're writing a blog. It'll give you an idea of which ones you might want to piggyback on. If this was really popular content, you might want to kind of keep going with that particular theme. All right, the next section that I want to show you in Google Analytics, and one of the most important parts, is the conversions area. So I'm going to go ahead and click on conversions. And this is where you can set up specific goals to track your conversion rates. And so as I was showing you earlier in ProFollow, under the confirmed opt-in step within your My Lists, your list settings, you could scroll down, you could add a success page. This is where you want people to end up after they opt in to receive your bribe. Okay, and so this will track your conversion rates for your opt-ins, and you can do that all right within Google Analytics. So let's go back to Google Analytics, and we're going to go ahead and set up a goal. So within any profile within Google Analytics, you can create up to 5 goals. So let's go ahead and click on the first one, and I'll show you how easy this is to set up. So let's give it a goal name, maybe something related to the squeeze page that or the particular offer that you have. I'm just going to call it offer A. All right, so we're going to say this is an active goal that we want to set up. Now there's a number of different types of goals you can create, but the most common one that you will do is URL destination. So we want to see how many people actually land on this confirmation page, and that will give us a verification of our conversions. So then you don't have to put the whole URL in there. You just put the actual file name. So it might be thank you or confirmation or whatever you've put in place. Okay, so you want to put that in place. And then from there, you want it to be an exact match. You want that when they land on that page, that it will track that conversion. And it doesn't have to be case sensitive. Wouldn't worry about filling that box in. Now, goal value, if it is there is an e-commerce function with Google Analytics as well, but you can also add the value here. So if you have an ebook that you're selling for $37, then you can put $37 right within that goal value there. And then down here, this gets a little bit more elaborate when you have a goal funnel where maybe you're taking someone to your website and then they go to your first order page, then your second final order confirmation page. And so you're actually creating about a sequence of 3 or 4 steps. That's when you would use a funnel. And you can actually add all the URLs that make up the funnel. And that'll show you really good data. For example, where are people dropping off? Where are people leaving that funnel? And it kind of will show you how your funnel is performing. If you're just setting up a goal for a squeeze page, then it's simply just putting your goal URL in place, and then you're good to go. And then you go ahead and save that. And there it is. The first one's created. Now, just to show you how a goal would look in another one of our test accounts here. And again, there's not a lot of data here just because these are our test accounts we're using just for demo purposes. But if we go here, this is what it would look like. And so this is another goal that we've set up. We've called the goal test 1, 2, 3, and it will track the number of conversions. So the number of times people landed on that confirmation page. It'll give you a conversion rate from those that hit the website to those that actually convert. So this is a good metric that you want to track on a regular basis. If you've included a value, like we said earlier, that $37 ebook, if you've attached a value to it, then that will track what each visitor is worth to you as well. So you'll find Google Goals to be a really, really good asset for you as you seek to really measure your performance and see how well you're converting for your different pages and different offers. All right, I hope you found this demo helpful, and we'll see you in another one real soon.